They've been wounded.
Oh, gee, that looked awful.
Despite a season plagued by injury.
And it didn't look good, and his pain said it straight away.
The Sydney Swans refuse to die.
And Sydney have won.
The Red and Whites are on a mission to reach their third grand final in 4 years.
Never count Sydney out.
The signs are there.
Tippett, yes!
Tippett terrorising the not-so-giants.
Over to Tippett, who can stream forward, tossed it up into the gentle breeze, and it sails through.
Sam Reid revitalised.
Reid gets a run, he's hard to stop.
And the most dangerous of all, the much-anticipated return of Buddy.
Franklin lining up at his 7th, and he's working it back brilliantly. Oh, what a kick.
But the Saints foot soldiers are in
Through.
and they've already sabotaged the Cats' plans for a 9th successive finals appearance.
Offhand, Savage has a snap at goal. He's missed, and it's going to be a drawn game here.
Today at Etihad, can the young Saints disrupt the Swans' march towards the premiership? This is Sunday Arvo footy.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Sunday afternoon football. It is the Saints and the Swans, and Buddy is back 3 weeks out with his back. The last time he played the Saints, he was simply awesome. That was back in round 21 last year. 9 goals, 4 at the SCG. If he gets on a roll this afternoon, it will be fun to watch. And this afternoon, well, Teddy Richards too. He's got a milestone match. Adam Schneider retires. And the Saints, they can continue to shape things. The draw last weekend against the Cats on Saturday night football wasn't enough to put them out of the race, but it gave them a little bit of a jitter, and then they lost to the Pies on Friday night. Sydney, though, they're wanting to win and get a double chance as we enter the finals. Good afternoon to you all, and to you, Lee Matthews. And again, the Saints can play a role.
Absolutely. Now, they've played some really good football. They're a dangerous opponent. We know they're a long way out of finals contention, but they are certainly capable of beating the sides above them, and Etihad is certainly their best venue this year.
Live ladder. Things are very, very interesting right now. And as we speak, Adelaide have got a nice lead over the West Coast Eagles. But if Sydney win today, they jump back over the top of Richmond.
Well, a second chance at the qualifying final. They're that 4th spot, and clearly Richmond have got it. So Sydney have to win today to be able to overtake the Tigers, and that's what gives. I mean, the getting into the qualifying finals, the top 4. We talk about it all the time. You have the double chance. That gives you the best chance of actually going through September and maybe getting to the grand final. So they're in sticky territory, the Swans. They can't afford to lose either of their games. Let's go down to Andrew Welsh. He's alongside David Armidge, who returns for the Saints this afternoon.
Well, Armo, out of the finals race yourself, but you can still have an influence on how it shapes up. We saw nearly got over the line against Geelong last week. Today, we got the Swans could still make the top 4. It's good challenges in that.
Yeah, that's right, mate. We spoke probably 2 weeks ago about taking a scalp, and we got really close last week. But we're talking about, this is our 5th quarter where you sort of reset and come off playing of 4 quarters of good footy last week, and we just want to take that into this week.
And you've seen that. You really don't want to limp towards the end of the season. There's some real intensity. We saw that last week, and it's going to be even more important today.
Yeah, that's right, mate. And, we can't just fade out these last 2. We've got to play. We're building for something. We're building for something greater. We're practising for next year. So that's basically what we're trying to do and implement, and we've certainly done that, the last couple of weeks.
And Snides announced his retirement during the week. One of the great players, one of the funny men of your club, finished it up today. It's important to send him out on a good note.
That's right, mate. All he'll want is effort from us, and he's been a star for us, also Sydney, and you can't have a better bloke in the locker rooms, and he means so much emotionally to us and physically. So he'll be a sad loss, but we'll try and get a result for him today.
Good luck.
Thanks, Boshy.
So 98 as a Swan, 5 grand finals. It's been a remarkable career. He says farewell today. There is no tomorrow, and he plays against his old side. And we caught up with Adam during the week.
Nah, I'm okay. Mate. I've been lucky. I don't really get nervous for footy. If you put a 2K time trial or something like that, I get a bit nervous. But when it comes to footy on game day, I'm pretty good. It's a bit of a fairy tale, and I believe fairy tales are made for kids, but to come up against the old team and go out on my terms is something pretty special and pretty lucky.
Schneider from 48.
Probably had the best year of the last 5 years regarding my body, so I can't complain with that. It's been good, and managed to play 15 games this year, and that's the most in 4 years, so it's feeling okay. Oh, look, I've got a fantastic family. I've got a beautiful wife and two beautiful kids, which make it all worth it. And I believe I didn't have football, it wouldn't have made me the person I am today. So I feel like I can leave the game a better person, comfortable with who I am. And as I said, I'm really looking forward to the next stage of my life. A few things I definitely won't, but there's a lot of things you miss. Just coming to work every day with 44 of your mates. Probably the biggest one I reckon I'll miss is that footy feeling. You walk up the race, you look across at your mate and you go out there for 2 hours of ball and you've got 30,000, 40,000 fans there to support you. You get this little tingle in your belly, which is a hard feeling to describe.
Clever kick for Schneider to give the Saints the lead for the first time. And he's done just that.
I wanted to be a player that was remembered for reliable and trustworthy with his teammates. A skillful player who players really wanted to play with and be around. So if I could get half of that, I'd be pretty happy leaving the game.
Well done to Adam Schneider. It has been a terrific career. Game 2-2, 8 and out, and Cozzy says a few words before he goes and plays for the final time for St Kilda. So game 2-2-8 for him, and for an American, game 2.
Yeah, Jason Holmes, what an outstanding story. A young American. College basketball, didn't make it in the pros, so he had to grow at the AFL. This is his second year in Australia. And one of the things that really hits you, I mean, he's got the size, but he's also got the leap with the agility. And a ruckman who can jump is really valuable. And he's a ruckman who gets after the ball at second level, at ground level. So, no, he looks a really exciting prospect. The athleticism that he possesses, I think he might be a really valuable asset for the Saints in the years ahead.
Speaking to his father and his mother, Kevin and Mary, at halftime. The father played for the 76ers, and Andre and Mark, the brothers, are playing professional sport as well. So he's a super side.
Yeah, well bred. He's well bred.
Really well bred. Last home and away game for the Saints this afternoon. It's thank you round on behalf of the Saints, and Jack Billings went out during the week and he gave someone a really happy weekend.
As part of the Saints Saying Thanks campaign, I'm down here today at the Big Issue to surprise one of our loyal supporters, Damo, and hopefully I can give him a hand in selling some big issues. Damo, what's happening? I'm Jack.
How are you, Jack?
How you going? Nice to meet you. As part of the Saints Say Thanks week, we saw your article in the Big Issue. So, yeah, we've just got a few gifts for you, mate. We've organised a 2016 membership for you as well.
Oh, I was extremely surprised. Thank you, ladies. Have a lovely day. Helping homeless people around Australia.
Jared spoke to me a few years ago when I first took over as coach and said that he'd be really keen to be considered to be a captain. He really put that on the agenda fair and square. He wanted to do it. He set his mind to it. Sees the game extremely well. He's very smart. The epitome, I guess, of an on-field leader as far as being able to see situations and how they unfold and being able to do something about them.
McVeigh and Suckling. McVeigh's marked. He goals. 2 in a row from Sydney.
Straight to McVeigh, and McVeigh kicks a goal.
To McVeigh, got around big boy McAvoy like he wasn't even there. Another one to the Swans.
He sets the example on the field, the way he plays, the way he lives his life, and the way he trains. He trains at an extremely high level every time. He trains to win. That's what's made him a really top-line player, not only for this football club, but across the competition.
Gives it to McVeigh. That's bending the right way. That's a goal.
Etihad Stadium, Sunday football. It's St Kilda against Sydney. The Sydney Swans coming off a big win last week. Out they come onto the ground. Ted Richards having a milestone today. Started his career at Essendon. They're coming off a big win over the Giants. 89 points the margin. Kurt Tippett putted 5 goals. And the good news gets better. Buddy Franklin returns today after missing the last 3 weeks. Let's go down to Andrew Welsh with John Longmire.
Well, Horse, a couple of handy inclusions. Gary Rowan starting as a sub, but Big Bud's good to have him back.
Yeah, it is. I mean, need to play. I mean, he's trained all week, so he needs to come back and get in the team and get moving again. And he's an important forward half player for us, obviously. So we hope that he really hits the scoreboard.
And the Saints have been in pretty good form. A high pressure game they've been playing the last few weeks. You've got a top 4 spot on the line. It's going to be a good test.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the St Kilda are playing some terrific footy. I mean, their pressure at the ball and around the ball carrier has been superb. And their younger players and their older players have mixed beautifully this year. So we know we're in for a real battle, and we've got a lot to play for as well. So it should be a good contest.
And Teddy Richards, I can't help laugh and smile when I talk about him. A unique character, but 250 games is a marvellous effort.
Oh, he's a great club man, Teddy, as you know, and terrific on and off the field for us. 250 games, not many get to do it, so a great achievement.
Thanks for your time.
The man who's running hot, Josh Kennedy. The coaches love him. Look at those votes he's been getting from them. He hasn't been under 30 possessions since round 13, Lee.
No, he's been in outstanding form, and I just really rate the coaches' awards. I mean, they're the ones who are setting up the game, and Josh Kennedy, when he's winning the ball in tight, is constructive as well. So he's such an important player to get the Swans game going. So he's clearly reached top form in this last couple of months.
Rowan will start as the sub, incidentally. Saw him there giving it to Kennedy last week, who was the dominant factor against the Giants. Wonderful pedigree, wonderful player. Kurt Tippett found some form last week as well. 34 goals for the season now. Of course, Buddy comes back on that forward line. The timing is good.
Well, he's got some goals last week. I mean, now they're generally playing him as he is their second ruckman. I don't know how much match time. I'll be interested to see how much time he spends in the ruck. But with Sam Reid, with Goods, with Franklin, they can afford to put him upfield a little bit and not necessarily be their go-to big forward.
There's Kurt Tippett. Buddy Franklin, we mentioned, is back today. Last time he played against these Saints, he bitted 9 goals. That was late last season. He is a key to their finals hopes. Down in the rooms, the Saints coming out. They did warm up today. They've, I think, cast aside that business of coming out at the last moment. Keep everybody waiting, and they're ready to go. Earlier today, in fact, during the week, we caught up with their captain, talking about another veteran. It was Nick Revolt on Lee Montagna.
Joey's had a great career, multiple All-Australian selections in really good years and strong periods for the club. He sort of did it the hard way early in his career with a few injuries and then spent a lot of time, playing some reserves footy.
Don't tell me from there, he's nailed it.
He's working it back brilliantly. Oh, what a kick. What temperament.
At the back, Montagna into the open goal. Saints regain the lead.
Continuity's been amazing and his consistency has matched that. So he's been a premier midfielder in the competition for a long, long time now. And personally, to be able to play so long together and play so deep into our careers together is something that I really treasure.
Room! Hey, Rui, get us that one! There you are, buddy!
A bit of room service there. Montagna, the Revolt. We've said that many times. The Saints coming out, their record 6 wins and a draw. Credit to Alan Richardson. A lot of people hailing this as a turnaround year for them. How do you rate their season, Lee?
Well, it's been a good season. I mean, they won 6 wins with a draw, but I still think that they've been really good. But having Montagna and Rewald, Schneider, Geary, Gilbert, Dempster, Fisher, they're the core of the team from when they were up in grand final contention. So that has helped, I think, the growth and development of the next generation and the Armitages and Stevens and players like that.
Saints have made 4 changes, a couple of big names back.
Always look better with Dempster in defence. He plays such an important role down there that gives you that experience when you've got Dempster and Geary and Fisher. Well, you've got a bit of experience down there. Goddard and Webster, they're fairly new.
Adam Schneider plays his last game too, Lee.
And his daughter running off the ground.
David Armitage in form. He missed last week, but his form has been terrific this season, averaging a tick under 30 possessions a game. Quite remarkable stuff.
Yeah, much improved player. Yeah, he's become a top-notch midfielder, David Armitage. So they've lost a couple. Obviously, Goddard left a couple of years ago, and Del Santo. So it has been the next generation, but the loanies and players of that ilk, Jack Nunes, they've looked really good players who are just really still cutting their teeth at senior level.
That's a storyline too. Jason Holmes on the right, first game last week from Chicago, Illinois.
Okay, way to go. And it is AFL. Thanks, guys.
Mike Pike, of course, the Canadian. Toss of the coin to start this game in round 22. Sydney warm favourites trying to get back the fourth spot on the ladder as we go down to Welshie.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. We see there Teddy Richards taking the toss. 250 games. What a player. Lucky enough to play a few games with him at the Bombers. Just couldn't find his feet there, and it's gone up to Sydney, and he hasn't looked back. He's, as I spoke with Johnny Longmire, he's quite a unique character. Actually caught him in the boot room one day, rubbing his footy boots with James Hurd's footy boots, trying to get some of that quality off the big fella. But he's gone up to Sydney and hasn't looked back. Ever reliable. And I know the Swans' recent form and their premierships have been built around that guy. We've got starting sub Gary Rowan coming back into the side. He's the starting sub, and Dunstan the starting sub for the Saints.
Thanks, Andrew. So the changing face of footy league. Jason Holmes from Chicago, Illinois, and
Yes.
first bounce up against Mike Pike from Victoria, British Columbia.
Not sure you would have said those words a decade ago, Dennis, but no, it is amazing in the background. But Pike's already proven himself to be a really valuable AFL player, and of course Holmes is just starting the journey, and that's his mum and dad in the stand there, enjoying the experience.
And Haim, that's a sporting family.
Absolutely. Kevin, the old man, he played for the Philadelphia 76ers, and Mary, who's produced 3 children with Kevin, are all playing professional sport around the world. So we know Jason's playing for the Saints. He's got a brother, Andre, playing for the Oakland Raiders. And then another brother is playing basketball professionally in Europe. So well-bred, the pair.
Oh, what an anticlimax. Tippett's going to take the first knock. Hey?
Yeah,
So
no theatre in this game.
No. So the border battle will have to wait.
We used to get excited.
I would like to tip that the American is going to jump over the Australian in this first ruck contest. Let's see what happens.
Okay, away we go. Sunday football.
Yep.
He did. Oh, Lee, you're a good job. Slaps the centre towards up forward. Laidler. Hand passes to Kennedy. Another possession for him, but straight to the defender, Robertson, inside the centre square. So the Saints, not to be trifled with. Last start a draw against the Cats. Probably deserved to win that game. This is Goddard. Plays on, pushing up the veteran. Sam Fisher drives it inside the forward 50. Big pack Grundy over the top. Got a fist away. Well, his hand pass indiscriminate. In trouble, Schneider went to ground.
Drive your head into him.
Then the call.
So Kieran Jack, one of the 2 Jacks out there today for the Swans. Catches Schneider in his retirement game early. Some cheers for Adam Goods.
Just noise. Not sure what the noise was, but there was noise.
To Laidler, who's had somewhat of a renaissance as a Swan. To Shaw, who's announced his retirement. Well done to Richards. Game 250. First possession's a good one. Used the body well against Bruce, who's had a wonderful year. Now to Jetta. Vision outstanding. There's the man that Den was referring to pre-game. Kennedy, who's averaging 30 for the season, turns it over. The Saints through Robertson will head to the outer side. Jack Stephen in front of Rampy. On Tanya, he provides a lead. So to Armitage, gets closed down by Kennedy. Closed late, did well. Little give was only ordinary in the end to Rampy. Set a task in the end. Armitage, the ball magnet, gives it to one who gets a lot of the football too. Now to Brandon Jack, left boot, thumping ball forward. But he's out the back, almost.
Got a quality matchup on the wing. Jetta and Rewalt playing up on the wing, so that's going to be a good one to watch. With a smaller defence, I'd say Rewalt, as we see him here, is going to get down there as much as he can to help out against Buddy and Tippett.
3 possessions already for Josh Kennedy. Tossed in. Tippett could have been held. Knocked away by Goddard in the end. Ross only as far as Kennedy. Got his own footy, centering ball. Goods. Let it float on. Bounces down towards the pocket. Then he got a fickle bounce. Robertson with some time. Terrible kick. Geary at close quarters. Now Webster comes away. Kicks it up towards the wing. Minchington takes the mark at the interchange gates.
Speaking to Dick Rewalt pre-game, he was talking about Minchington, who's from the Peninsula, Dramana. They call him Meatball Lee. Strong, sort of rotund little man with plenty of strength.
Yeah, we're doing Chicago and British Columbia, and you're doing where?
Dramana.
Oh, come again.
Well, Jack almost kicks it into the Canadian. Pike gets out of the way, and now to Buddy. Had it, lost it. A little give from Murdoch, almost found its mark. It was Rossi wanted, got there in the end, and through the middle, Robertson. chewed off a fair bit in the end. Minchington comes through onto the right boot. Well done. Hickey, Grundy. Hickey favoured by the bounce. Little give to Geary. Cute kick over the top. Won't find a Saint initially. Laidler mops up and suddenly Shaw is away. Bouncing ball for him. Nothing really in front of him, so he can just take a couple of bounces. Run and run, then contemplates inboard. Reed's chosen. Terrific kick in the end. Quickly they play on. Back it comes. Brandon Jack onto the left again. Here's Kurt Tippett. 5-3 last weekend. He has an opportunity to open his account early going on Sunday football.
Well, he's certainly got plenty of height down there. Franklin, Tippett.
Round the corner, offline.
He's missed the goal. Goods. I'm just trying to really have a good look at Franklin just to see how he's moving. I'm just going to be really interested when there's a ground level ball, just to see what kind of flexibility he's got to be able to bend comfortably after that back injury.
Webster plays on, goes out wide. Geary under pressure, gets the kick off. That pressure affected the kick though, helped the defence. Rampy, cross half back, plenty of support. Grundy, high ball. Now coming strongly from behind. Fisher launched himself, went to ground though, didn't hang on. Armitage, socket away by Reed, did well. Into the path of Brandon Jack, head down. Goddard must be a free. Goddard was down foxing the footy, and Jack kept coming.
Dragged him down.
Come with me. Umpires this afternoon, Bannister, Stevens and Ryan.
No, it is because he put his head down to pick up the ball. He didn't...
Yeah, very hard to pick up the ball with your head in the air. That's true. Well, you've got to get your head down over the ball like this. Please, the umpires don't confuse that clearly with actually ducking from an original upright position.
So Goddard quickly to Roberton. Back inside, chance for Armitage. Missed last week in the draw against the Cats. Grundy, little fumble and a stumble, but a good gather. Then to Heaney. Buddy flies from behind, realised he couldn't take the mark, knocked it to ground. Dempster, one of the four-ins for the Saints, retreats back to Goddard, back to Roberton. Now Ross is an outlet, he's not used. Montagna is on the wing, floats in front of Cunningham, drifts through a couple of Saints, calls for a couple of forwards to run at him, drives the ball forward into Ted Richards' hands.
Big Ted back towards the pocket. Pike over the top. Jack running hard. Out towards left half back, sends it up towards the wing, juggled by Fisher. Wonderful player in his time, still going strong. Charging through. Webster's kick is offline and through for a minor score. Dash off defence.
Talking about players that keep their head over the ball, Josh Kennedy is one of those. Only played 6 minutes of the game so far and already the 6 touches and 4 contested balls.
Short one to Jetta. Back inside. Mitchell finds the footy a lot. Goes down towards half forward. Heaney almost. Spills wide. Taken by Dempster. Did it well. Gilbert close to the boundary line. Miscues with a kick. Good effort by Jones. Brilliantly picked up by Weller. Bacon goal square. How will it bounce? Truly, unfortunately for the Saints. Interesting. 3 2005 Sydney Premiership players all involved in that exchange. Still playing. Adam Goods is one. The other two, Adam Schneider and Sean Dempster, both playing for the Saints.
Dempster and Schneider, 5 grand finals between them. No one on the list other than Burgoyne have played more. Burgoyne's played 5-2. Holmes to ground. Grundy the tackler. What a story he is. Learned about football on YouTube. Saw Nick Natanui playing. Liked the look of it. Missed a brother's wedding to go and do a trial. No promises, just a trial. Suddenly finds himself game 2 for the Saints. Weller onto the left towards the goal square. Bruce. Well done, Dane Rampy. Used his body terrifically. Wins the battle.
Done well, Richards, Rampy. A couple of high balls in. The Swans defenders are not only spoiled, they've actually marked it.
Geary got a couple to beat. Richards is one, Jack the other. Geary just about beats both. To Minchington, missed him in the end. Rampy got hold of the football. Bruce got hold of him.
Yeah, Lee, it's 4 marks in defensive 50 to the Swans. So good at laying off and reading and picking off those intercept marks.
Dickey, terrific. Schneider, not often on his right boot. Won't score. Jones sees it through. So the Saints punchy enough early.
No scoring affair. Mitchell.
Thank you.
Some indecision. Goods wants it. That's ignored. Instead, short option, Grundy. Very close to the boundary, and walking it across is Kennedy. So lackluster start, really. 3 plays 1. Approaching the midway mark of the term. Here's the matchup. Promoter's dream. Holmes over the top, won that one. Pike playing his Sherlock at the moment. Gilbert. Kick goes down from Armitage. On the bounce, Weller. Mitchell. Over the shoulder, McVeigh. Back to Grundy. Now Laidler.
Mitchell got away from Armitage, did a good job, then missed last week after having 41 on Friday Night Football against the Pies, where he was remarkably good.
John Longmire spoke about the defensive pressure that St Kilda have been applying so well in most of their games, and that's given them the ascendancy early.
Gilbert, who's been playing a role in the midfield for the Saints, doing a good job of it too. Hanbury, he's always been good in the midfield for the Swans. Laidler, back to Mitchell. Well, 50-50 ball. In the end, Cunningham run underneath the ball by Nunes, goes back and wins it. Has to deal with Nick Smith. Happy to retreat, retain possession, the Saints. Now to Dempster.
You're right.
So Schneider says farewell against his old side. Dempster with more years to run to Ross. Wheels onto the left boot. Again, low penetrating ball. Hanbury couldn't quite take a chance for Bruce. Richards, Pike. Well, they almost combined. Laidler on the end of the handball.
High. Advantage.
Well, Heaney can keep on rolling. Everyone was flat-footed and watching. Heaney didn't know quite what to do. Decided to drive it long to Buddy. He and Fisher. It's a foot race. Buddy, well, outsmarted in the end. Fisher was clever. Reed and Goddard come to the football. It sailed over.
Early indications only, but I didn't think he really wanted to bend quickly and get down to the footy then, Franklin. I'm not sure whether he's got full confidence in his body.
Fisher really had to stretch out too. Tossed in, Tippett. McVeigh taken down. Hanbury thumped out of there by Nunes. Getting back is Cunningham to Smith. Loads up, fires it deep into attack. Goods is in front. Punched away from behind. Oh, Jetta high stepping comes through. Deserves a goal. How good was that?
It was a good spoil. Read it well. Jetta. So often the offensive players get too close to the contest. So if there's a good punchback as St Kilda executed, you get under the footy. But Jetta held his ground. Read it beautifully.
As Den said, hit it at speed and then had to work his way through 4 Saints and Buddy. Finished with a goal. Terrific stuff. Mitchell taken high by Revolt. Advantage is called, and then McVeigh goes long and low, and it's through. 2 goals in quick time for the Swans.
You see the high contact there, but really the ball just kept playing on. Advantage was played, and McVeigh had the open goal.
And Lee, I want more animation from my umpires for advantage. Like, it's not you just put the bin out, just shout about it. There's Ross. Bellavoy's half forward. Murdoch takes the mark. Goes back towards the middle. Savage. Robertson. Montagna. Savage. Nicely worked. Savage. Out wider still. And the mark is taken here by Murdoch. Oh, well done. Getting across Smith, the All-Australian, smothers the kick.
Their early numbers, 10 inside, 50s to St Kilda for 3 behinds, 7 for St Kilda, and they've kicked a couple. Forward efficiency, as usual, is win most games.
Tippett wins the battle against Holmes. Jack, terrific. To Hanbury, to Heaney. Now to Brandon Jack. Kieran was a part of the chain, one of the first involved. Younger brother works it this time. Now Buddy over the top. Cunningham, a chance. He's got to control a football that is being juggled by 2 players. Geary happy to see it over.
Just the extra height Dempster's already gives a height to most players. He plays on and just outreached.
It'll be interesting to see how Buddy moves throughout the afternoon. Ian Fisher went for the ball earlier, and Lee Matthews pointed out that it didn't look like a fluid moving Buddy. Revolt Saw him about an hour and a half before the game doing his extensive warm-up routine. Generally jogs a couple of kilometres before things get serious.
It is amazing when an hour and a half before the game, when Nick starts his warm-up procedure, he does a fair bit of work before the official warm-up even gets going.
Sydney by 10. Tippett gets the arm free. Ross steals it away. Scrambles a kick down towards half forward. Hit Murdoch in the face. Richards to Grundy. Takes a while. Grundy goes back. Bruce is bearing down. Got Rampy too and slung him back to Richards. Richards gets away. Sends it short of the wing. Revolt. Stretching. Terrific. Full-blooded. Short. Montagna. Saw that footage earlier. Montagna finding Revolt on the training track. Rolls reverse that time. Oh, not a good kick. Yuri. Schneider can kick a goal here. No pressure on. They backed off. Do that at your peril.
He's averaged a bit over a goal a game, but that's what you think of when you think about him, Schneider. Just that ability to get usable in the forward 50. He's always been a good finisher. That has been the benchmark of his game.
98 games as a Swan, including the flag in 05, the grand final in 06, goal 2-5-8, game 2-2-8 in his final game. Robin did well, got it to the skipper in Revolt. Now Stephen takes on a few. Well done. Now Geary back inside to Robin. Can they get back-to-back goals? Driving ball, couple of tall timber. One was Hickey and the other was Bruce. Both got out of position.
They read it well off the opposition boot. The St Kilda boot, obviously Grundy and Richards. They're both Rampy's good at that as well.
Well, cheers again for Adam Goods. Jones cruises by. Well done to Kennedy. Buddy's calling for the ball long. Reid wants it in front of Buddy. Both are ignored. In the end, Seb Ross has it gift wrapped.
It's amazing how many times the opposition mark it in their back 50, and that's mainly because they're playing a bit of a zoning. They're not really playing on a body, so they read the quick off the boot as well as the offensive team.
Well, Heaney read it well off the boot there, closed in. Saints, so end up winning the football. Back to Robertson, who's seen a lot of it early. Former Docker, forced behind the line. He chooses a skipper again. Armitage floats in. Ball to be won.
It's won by Shaw. Fires a hand pass off to Jack. Jetta, he's feeling it at the moment. Kicks inside the forward 50, and the mark is taken by Reid. Had a lot of space.
Got cleared. Should be a good view down the centre corner. We see top of screen. St Kilda player starts to come forward. Just drops off the match up on Reid, and once there was an unpressured kick into the forward 50, well, he found the target.
Lewis Jetta has been exhilarating. Led to that goal. Kicked his own earlier. Reid puts it through.
See, Reid got the opportunity, but really it was the set-up kick from the middle of the ground from Jetta that enabled him to take an uncontested mark only 25 metres from goal.
What do you like Sam Reid playing, Lee? Forward of centre?
Yep.
McVeigh.
Talk about him a little bit as the game goes on.
Little give to Jack. Fisher got in the right spot. He's been doing that a lot for the Saints over the journey. There's a man that's battled his body for so much of his career. Robertson again, the former Docker. Well, the kick over the top to Nunes had to be good. It was in the air a long time. Nunes had to wait, but it was perfectly positioned. No Swan could get there. Montagna. Now to Murdoch. Closing was Richards. Did well. Well, not so well.
Just over his shoulder there, Ted.
This is the area the Swans are so good at. They just keep pushing St Kilda back. There's no options and trying to create the turnover. Whenever the Saints players look up, it's only red and white. They're trying to draw them in. We've seen it turn over in the midfield a lot already in this first quarter.
Right on it.
Fisher decidedly undecided. Back to Webster, who's the man that delivered it to him.
Goes very deep now to Robertson. Robertson, short one. Nunes Came strongly, got some assistance from Goddard. Step late, Reed, not much in that. Around the outer side goes Geary. Didn't hear the call advantage that time. Montagna, short one. And Ross gets on the end of it. Moments ago, he had the ball in defence. That's encouraging. He's an emerging young player.
Patient build-up to get out, wasn't it? As well, she said the Swans had the defensive zone behind, but they went from one side out the other. Back pocket. Millie got the free kick down the field. That helped them play the ball on, but were able to maintain possession into a set shot at goal.
Saints trailing by 10. Ross's kick is on the way. It's the post halfway out. Bad luck for the young man.
Yes, you mentioned Sam Reid just earlier. He looked like just a prodigy as a key forward, and then Tippett came in, and then Franklin came in the year after, and all of a sudden he's been a bit of a bit player since.
Swans through McVeigh. Well, here's a chance for the skipper. Had it delivered to him by McVeigh, and Weller did a good job. Worked his way through a few Swans. Fires the handball back inside. Montagna got a one-on-one. Savage uses his body well against McVeigh. Couldn't quite complete it. Gilbert off the ground. Sockers it through. Minor score only. So forward, you think Lee is where he's best placed. He's just not inside to play forward.
Well, yeah, occasionally he's played okay in defence, but yeah, they've all, with Goods obviously getting towards the end of his career, and Tippett. So he's always been that extra tall.
Kennedy now into double figures for possessions. Here's Hanbury. Swings it out wide. The man we speak of, Reid, long way from home. Sends it deep though. Franklin lurking behind. Tippett was up, couldn't hang on. Franklin clever, didn't hit it too hard, got it to Tippett. The key was the push almost, but the kick not the equal of the earlier good work. Always tough to fit in. Oh, heck. The runner always cops it, doesn't he? You've got to go out there and explain
you need
the tone of the
runner,
message.
Dennis. You've got to be careful with your players, but you can really yell at your runner.
It's therapeutically.
Robertson missed last week with that ankle injury. He's already had the 12 touches, so this is a good comeback. This is the depth that Alan Richardson's talking about, getting these players back into the team and making sure they play out the year.
Stephen wide, Savage. He had a chance last week to become a hero, missed, and in the end the Saints drew with the Cats. Lovely long kick of the football, and again off just 2 or 3 steps. Hits it a long way. Grundy outsmarts Hickey. Now to Richards. 2 men facing off, Schneider and Richards. Schneider on the mark for the final time as a Saints. Richards hoping there's plenty more ahead of him. Finals campaign, the 17th finals campaign for the Swans from 20 years. They've been written off a lot. They have performed year after year. Jack happy to switch play. Now suddenly Ramby can keep on rolling. He's got Heaney on his lonesome on the wing in front of us. Pike at half-forward. Buddy further behind Pike. Buddy sets himself up almost, but not quite. Couldn't quite complete the deal. Ground level. Buddy went and got it. Fired the handball back to Cunningham. His kick terrific to Adam Goods.
Adam, got to come round, mate.
Sure whether Buddy looks completely at ease with his body.
Yeah, no, well, it is that complete flexibility to be completely unimpeded. If you would want to hazard a guess, yeah, he's still got a bit of a stiff back. Where he's injured, it's still a little bit of stiffness in that back region, just the way he's moving, to my eyes.
So Adam Goods, what a career it has been. The 35-year-old is offline. Is it a score? Only just.
Game number 369, 14 goals for the season. Robertson to bring it in, under 2 minutes till quarter time. Drives it out very wide. Nick Revolt will take the mark uncontested. Nick grew up barracking for Hawthorn and Brisbane. Favourite players, Jason Dunstall, Michael Voss, and fair to say he's a composite of the two in many respects. Armitage. is at left half back. Some indecision. Sam Fisher. Deep in his own defence as the clock continues to run down. Fisher. This is Dempster. Such a courageous player. Now decides to go up the middle. That's courageous. Straight to Goods. Goods can whack it back over his head. Man on the mark's right on the 50. Goods comes in, takes something off the kick. Long ball. Question of pride. Dempster tried to mark it, couldn't. Fisher got the crumb. Awkward for Stephen, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Neither side can really break through the defences at the moment. The defensive setups of both sides holding up, particularly when players are fresh and energetic early in the game.
Goddard gave the American a little bit of assistance, knocked the ball on, won't come out though. Certainly of the defensive 50, Holmes, who was so good at ground level last Saturday night, finds himself there again.
Yeah, Lee, it's been able to sustain that for the taller defenders. They're doing a pretty good job, the Saints defenders, on Buddy and Tippett, just the 2 touches each, but they need to be able to sustain that the whole game, because that's when the great players really break free.
Nick Smith back inside. Here's a chance for Jones. Goes back to Pike. Hickey had him, lost him. Back to Jones again. Seconds. Well, still plenty there for the Swans if they can mark here. Nothing doing. Collision. Tippett around the body. He skips it through. Tippett's got his first. The Swans have got 4.
I think that was the Michael Voss part of the composite. Not that Jason didn't do it, but he just threw himself in there.
Yeah, Jason Dawson didn't get to the back half of the field too much in the era he played, obviously playing full forward, but Nick Rerod has always just gone at the ball. Doesn't matter at the angle, doesn't matter who's there. I think he probably almost put his own player out of the contest a little as well, but yeah, on that occasion, Tippett was the ground level player that the ball fell to.
Hard to teach courage, but he was just born with it.
Remember that mark of the SCG against these Swans? That will stand for all time. Even I remember that. Siren, it's quarter time, and the margin is 16 points, so Sydney would be happy with that, I think. Slow start by both these teams, but Sydney have done best since. 27-11 then on Sunday football at Etihad Stadium.